What's up, guys? NJ Slot Guy here, representing SlotsFan.com. Make sure you're checking them out. Check out their brand new YouTube channel that they had just launched as well. I am sitting here with the great Dan from the Good Life 88. Dan, how are you today? And thank you for giving me your time, of course.
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for setting all this up, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you.
I really am as well. I always look forward to talking to you. What the people don't know is how frequently we do talk to each other. You are one person that I am usually texting, last person I'm texting at night, and the first person I'm texting when I wake up because I don't sleep well. And you're still rocking and rolling. You're usually editing and working on your creations at that time. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I'm up late, and we've got quite a bromance. Sometimes, the YouTube life without a team, which is what I have, is hard. And I'm working, 7 days a week on YouTube, hours and hours each day, sometimes 8 to 10. So that will lap over into from late at night into the early morning, and then I'll crash for 7 to 8 hours, and then get up and kind of do it all over again.
Yeah, Dan, I understand it all too well. As it seems like we are all, and I consider you a part of, our circle here that I have, and all the creators that I talk to, which is, it's ballooned into, you're talking 70, 80 creators that I speak to. I don't want to say a regular basis, but a regular basis meaning like every quarter, let's say, I keep in touch.
You're a popular man.
No, it's not that. It's that you're so likable. How could I not keep in touch with you? And let's give the people some more of you. Please let us know, where are you from, Dan? How did this start? Talk to me.
Man, that could be a mouthful, but okay. Well, I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area in California, and I've been gambling ever since I was 18, maybe a little before. You never know, before anybody would card. But I used to go to a place called Cache Creek when it was a small little tent, pop-up, casino. And it was 18 and over there. So you could go and do a little gambling, and I got a taste of it. And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. I was poor and broke. And so $100 was my entire budget for the day. And so I'd just go around doing 50-cent bets, $1 on, roulette here or there, whatever minimum I could get through. And just enjoyed it, never gotten any craziness, and actually didn't get my first hand pay until I think it was like 2012 or something. So I went years and years and years without hand pay, and just wanted to kind of have fun, gamble, and enjoy myself. And it's ever since, it's obviously grown a little bit further. Into the degeneration of, now I'm filming, now I want to get some content. I'll just go to the casino and get a couple hours worth of buffalo. That sounds fun. So
how did that start? How did you say I'm going to start filming now at a casino? What happened? And when was that actually?
Well, I started filming years and years ago just for fun when iPhones came out. So 2010, 2012, something like that, where I would just get a bonus. I think I was at Harvey's, and they didn't really bother me too much. So I would just get quick, filming here's a bonus. Got it. Good. Okay. Done. 30 seconds. And those ended up turning into shorts later when shorts were invented. But that's where I got the idea. But I never really took it anywhere. I just posted it. They got a couple hundred views, and then they died out. And I thought, okay, well, that's fine. Whatever. I'm barely checking YouTube anyway. And then I went to Thunder Valley Casino and hit it was an old school 3-reel. And it was a double, triple, 7 or something. And I just caught the tail end, not live or anything, but it counted up to 700 or something. And I was like, to me, my ignorance, I'm like, that's a jackpot. That's a jackpot. Because I think it was only betting $1. So 700x. That's pretty good, So I posted it, and it has 5,000 views now. And it's old. It's really old, and it's not exactly the most exciting video. It's just the tail end. But that got me thinking maybe I should do something. And then 4 or 5 years later, I actually started to watch slots on the internet. And I was like, oh, who's this Brian Christopher guy? Click, watch. Oh, that's interesting. He's got a background in acting too. So do I. I feel like I could do something like this. And I started to go to my local casinos and secretly filming. because I
Right.
didn't even know about permission. I just knew it wasn't allowed, and there was
Same.
probably no way that I could get any permission. So,
Same.
F it, we're just going to try this out. And so there I am sitting there with my phone, like this, right by my chest, and trying my best. Every once in a while I look down, okay, it looks good, adjust it a little bit. It was the camera work is horrible, and watching it makes me nauseous because it's basically just and it's it's not 4K. This is like 720p. So we're talking like grainy, and like the audio sucks. It's just me kind of yelling into the mic like, oh yeah, this is great.
You sounded like every airline pilot that comes on every flight that I take, and I try to understand. I have no idea what they're talking about. That was good.
They just want to tell you about something and then get you on your way.
I think they just yell complete BS into it. Exactly. Now wait, with you, saying, because I do that stuff all the time too. I'll go poke on one of like my old videos just to hate myself more than I already do, and I mean, you've grown as a creator, man. I've seen you from the start, from when you started The Good Life 88, and to see how you've grown, and especially when you can look back at something that I feel like you have surpassed a lot of people on the technical side of things. I think you have a lot more figured out than a lot of creators do, and it pisses me off that you're not, out where you deserve to be, honestly.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say, it pisses me off, you're too good.
Pisses me off how great of a person you are, Dan. Damn your friendship, Damn your friendship.
You can't handle it. Yeah, it's so surprising that if you just put in like 4 years of hard labor and do it 7 days a week, you get better at stuff. It's weird.
Yeah. That's called practice, right? 10,000 hours to master something, they say.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm getting closer. I don't know if it's 10,000. I haven't kept track, but if you look at the basics, like, let's just say 4 hours a day, 7 days a week, there's 28. Let's just call it 30 times 4, there's 120. And then we're talking about times 12. So we're looking at 1,000 per year. I'm probably in the 4,000 to 5,000 experience range. So I've got another 5,000 to go. But every day I'm working more hours. So it's adding up quicker now, which is good for experience.
You've set your bar higher too, so there's a lot more work that does go into that, because you can never revert. You can never revert and go backwards. Where like if I stepped up my game to your like where you are as far as on the technical side of it, my people be like, oh my God, he must have hired somebody to do this. You know what I mean? So it would be good for somebody like me. You can't revert now. You've set your bar high, which is a good thing. Hey man, keep your standards going that way.
No, I like it.
Especially when you're good at it, Dan. Honestly, you really are, and I can't be the only creator that tells you that. You've had to have other creators tell you that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're not the first one. I won't name names, but definitely I get a lot of compliments, and it's both flattering and encouraging, because sitting in my office alone editing for hours and hours, and the only feedback aside from maybe a couple comments from my top fans is just views. That's the only numeric views, and obviously you can see the analytics like the click-through rate or how long they're watching, engagement rate. But those three things right there, that's pretty much all I know about if people are liking it, and if the like button. But some people click the like button or they click the dislike. If they I don't think they know always what it does or how it reflects. So I barely look at that. But yeah, it's been an interesting, what seems to be so far, upward trending journey of finding out how to do YouTube, which there's a lot of ways to look it up, but I've noticed not a lot of YouTube channels. Like vidIQ is a good one where you can look up how to have a YouTube channel, but there's like zero that are like have a YouTube channel and it's about slots and gambling. Nobody has recommendations, so you have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah, you really do. And as a creator, unless you do that digging, and there are some things that they do, but it's like, I feel like every creator thing that I watch that they put there on the studio, it's like, it never relates to me, or I would have to go even deeper than that into forums to like make it relate to me or get onto that level. And then by that time, I'm like 6.5 minutes into whatever it is. And I'm just like, it's too much. I can't do this. I still got to respond to comments. Let's focus. And I just never touch it again. Most likely.
It's a lot of investing of time into yourself, which can be sometimes you go off, as you said, you get distracted. Sometimes I'll find myself, I'll start on a project of, I got to figure out how to edit this thing, and then I'll get distracted or I'll get a comment, and then 20 minutes later I'm on Instagram scrolling, looking at gambling stuff, and I'm like, damn, concentrate. Okay, phone down, back to editing. I've got this long video I've got to do and I'm only halfway through. Who's going to post it? It's got to be me. And look at, it's 3 a.m. It's like we're working till 4 today. Clickety click, click.
Oh, there's NJ coming in. Oh, he must be up.
Yeah. NJ's up. Yeah, I usually know
Right?
it's morning time on the East Coast when I get a text like, "Hey, bro." And
I'm usually responding to whatever I fell asleep to, right? That's usually what I'm doing. Now I feel comfortable texting you at that time because I didn't at first because I'm like, it's 2 a.m. there. I'm not going to text him right now. And then I think you happened to like double up one time and you happened to send one at like 5:15 in the morning. And I responded right away. And I was like, you're up right now. And that's how it became. And I was like, this is great. This is great. You know, it's like being in high school again. That's all it is. It's like being in high school again, right? You fell asleep.
Hey, bro, you up?
Yeah, you up? Yeah, exactly. See, you can, I
can relate.
All right, Dan. So speaking of being a creator, was your main platform YouTube when you started, and now you're, everywhere else, or was it somewhere else?
No, it's definitely YouTube. I think I had maybe a Twitter account that I didn't really use, and at one point I started the Instagram account because I was like, oh, I've got to be on social media, I guess.
Yeah.
But YouTube was the place. I've had my account open since like 2010, 2009, back in the day when it first started, because my goal was always open a YouTube account, post some silly video of me running around like drinking or singing, or I play the harmonica. So like,
no way. Do you really? Hold on.
Poorly.
I don't know. There's no poorly. You obviously do it better than anybody else.
I'll go grab it. Let me see if I can grab it real quick.
Do Billy Joel? You want to do some Billy Joel?
Oh, I can't do any specific songs. This is more like Irish drunken.
Like banjo? Like if I had a banjo?
Yeah, we could riff, but there wouldn't be like I can't do a song.
Guys, he's getting his harmonica, and I'm letting this fly. Come on. This is too good. No way. No way.
Now it's probably been 10 years since I played this song.
Do people know this or no?
No, but I don't care if they know.
It's time. It's time.
That's no practice for 10 years. But if I really wanted to do some work, I actually never read this. Playing the harmonica.
What is this?
It's a book about how to play the harmonica.
Nice. And never read it. That's fantastic.
Never read it. No, why would I?
Doesn't
care.
I don't need to read it.
But there's a bunch of them like whistling through it and this and that, and I'm like, huh. So I don't know when I got this, but years ago, and every once in a while I bust it out, usually when I've been drinking. And it's kind of one of those fun, like, friends around. You're like, hey.
Do you carry this with you to the casino? Have you had this on you when we've been together? Oh, you better have said no to that. You better have said no to that. But now that brings the next thing of, can you bring that the next time we're together? You could say no. I'm a disaster.
Remember it. No. I mean, it's funny because it's handheld, so it's in the casino. I don't see how that could be anything but funny. But I'd have to get better so I don't embarrass myself, because that little thing, I do like 20 different styles of the exact same thing with a little bit of differences in pace and up and down. But like if you're asking me to do something,
talents out of the way. I was going to get to that, but we got your special talents out of the way.
There's one that's I don't use, one of many, I guess.
What else you got? Any other
I mean, now it's YouTube. I used to have more interests. I've had to cancel them out. I used to play video games. I love Zelda brand stuff. So anything I've played it since the original NES.
Here we go, man. See, now we're supposed to be talking about slot influencer and creator stuff, and now
it's still gaming.
Things are going to take a solid turn. If there's any game that I've loved and still love to this day, it's The Legend of Zelda for the original NES. And Dan, I'm pretty sure that I can lead you through that map if you turned it
on. Wow, that's a bold statement.
Should we put it to the test? You can't do that in any way, can you?
With the map? I mean, I don't have the memory of that map for sure.
Okay, I was going to say, is there a way that you could put me to the I'm very confident in it, but you're very technical, and I feel like there's a way that you're going to bring up, like Zelda's going to be your background now on the green screen or something. By the way, look, he's got a casino as the background. Like, I just have my house and whatever siding was here when I, bought the damn thing.
That's right. What do you mean as a background? I'm literally sitting in the walkway of
hold on,
Hard
let me
Rock
guess where you
Hotel
are.
and
You think I
Casino.
can guess? Oh,
all right. But which Hard
I was
Rock? How about that? There's a bunch of Hard Rocks.
I was wrong. I was going to say something else. So
do you see the swirl? And I've got my office chair in the middle of the hallway.
I do. It kind of looks like you would sit in right where you
Let
are.
me do whatever I want.
I love this. This is fantastic. This is already turning into fun. And
I mean, I could change it probably to the Grayton one, or I could change it. Actually, it would be funny if I change it to your background and put it as the house.
That would be pretty funny if somehow you
two wood backgrounds. I'm in the back of my house. Yeah, I'm in the back of my house. Wait.
So Slot Cracker put my face on the Jersey Shorecast and put it as his background when I did this with him, because he's a character.
Nice.
And he
we just had Pauly D at Grayton.
I know. And guess what? Remember I told you I was talking to Brian? He texted me like a video from there, and I was like, "That's my guys from here." That's a local guy here, Pauly D.
Right.
So I'm like, damn, I wish I came out kind of. I don't know. We would have had more of us out there for protection. All right, Dan. So with that, as a YouTube creator, you came into the YouTube space, and I keep saying the YouTube thing hard because now I've realized how different creators came from different platforms, and like they're trying to get discovered on YouTube because they're popular on TikTok. So that's why I keep saying that, just to not throw you off. Being a YouTube creator, then when you first started, who were some of the other influencers, that you watched or maybe influenced you, using the word when you first started?
It was definitely, first thought, Brian Christopher. First person that I saw mostly videos of that were online. Diana, I guess I saw a couple of videos, but I didn't really connect with her. I just saw the videos and saw who was
sweetheart.
out there.
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
And one time for 15 minutes, and I knew it. I knew she was going to be a sweetheart because she's one that I watched too before I started.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And
legend,
because I was arranging an event and thought she might be interested. Yeah. So, her, Brian Christopher. Actually, my first sort of popular video, I hit the grand on Lock and Length Nightlife, and within like a month, well, I do too since I hit the grand. Nice little 13K in the pocket. I posted it, and within a month, somebody had tried to copyright claim it for some reason, whatever. It was so bad. So I fought it, and like it took months, and I appealed, and they said, "Oh no, it's clearly somebody else's work or something." And I'm like, "This is original. How could you even think?" And I'm not sure who filed the claim. Maybe they didn't tell me. I was so new then that I just saw that they had taken it down. And at that time, It had like 50,000 views. I'm a brand new channel, and you get 50,000 views. You're excited. And this is like the beginning. And then all of a sudden, the little chart, it just does the full dive into the negative because they took the whole video down. Well, who do I email? Brian Christopher. I go, Brian, this is what happened. Gave him the download. And within a day or two, he gets back to me. He's like, yeah, this has happened to me lately. Some of my videos, like 1 out of 30 will get flagged just because somebody doesn't like it or whatever. You just have to go through the process. And in the outcome, some of those videos just may stay offline. You have to either reload them or just take the loss and post more videos that somebody can't claim for some reason, and do your best to like avoid putting people in there, because people can claim it if you don't have, even if you do have a signed release. Sometimes people will still claim it and win just because you need to have that release at a certain time signed, like signed before and then signed after or something. I don't know. Luckily that's not in my wheelhouse, but he explained a little bit about what I needed to do. And then within a couple of weeks, it finally got resolved. But I had held out hope, because he was so supportive.
And this goes right under the cons section of, what are the pros and cons of your channel? Like I asked you, This is one of the cons. And sometimes it won't resonate in your mind because we deal with things so much and so many different pros and cons that it may not have come to your head, but there's one right there. There's a good con. I deal with it all the time when it comes to music, and you're dealing with it in a different sense of somebody can literally, be in the, they walk by, boom, there it is. That video's gone. And that could be one of your best performing videos, and as a creator, you got to handle that.
Scary.
Yeah. So there you go. Another great con that I wasn't even thinking of that you have to, work around and try to figure out, especially when it comes to people in the casino. I've had to deal with that too many times. There's ropes up, there's signs up, there's filming in progress, and people still walk by and they get all upset or like, oh, and it's like,
I mean, if you've got those posted signs, that's actually
what are we
pretty
doing?
true. Yeah, but YouTube doesn't know you had those signs. You know, like
Correct,
that's the
of
thing.
course,
Is YouTube
of
doesn't
course.
care. So it could be in a live
Nope.
stream and somebody's in the back and they just realize that they made it in and they don't want to be seen by their significant other, and all of a sudden
It could be a
they're
paid
flagging your
promotion,
video. Could be
It could be a
anything.
paid promotion from the casino, from a slot manufacturer, whatever it may be, and you have to post that because you have to hit certain deliverables and whatever it may be as a creator, and now you can't because it's getting, and now your channel could possibly be in jeopardy because you know how the strikes work and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure, and you may go down that lane, and it's like, no disrespect to anybody that I'm going to mention, just using as an example, IGT's not going to save you. Graydon's not going to save you. You know what I mean? Like,
right. They have no hand in the game,
as they shouldn't, of course.
Right. They're just the provider of those things.
Right. So there goes that huge con of, if you did it wrong enough times, and especially in a row, you could possibly lose everything that you've built like that. No questions asked. Nobody cares. And that is a huge con when it comes to this that I didn't even think about. I've asked, tons of creators this already. I've interviewed, a couple big time creators too, and nobody even thought of mentioning that as a con. That's a really good point, Dan. Very good.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I counteract that, except for live streams, there's not much you can do, but YouTube does have an after posting effects ability where you can blur people out after you posted.
Yes. Now we
I've
do.
used that a couple
now
times.
we do.
Yeah, now we do. We didn't used to.
Now we do. We did not.
So using that a couple of times here and there for lives mostly, that helps me feel better if I see somebody's face blatantly pop in or whatever. But the downfall with that is if you edit your live, now your live stream chat disappears. Like, they take it off and disable it. So, some people are like, oh, you're editing your lives. It's like, well, sometimes I'm editing out literally dead time or somebody popping their face in, or, you can blur them. But if like one of the higher ups come and they don't want to be on camera, but they walk in during a live stream. I've had that happen where all of a sudden, like later, I go back and I delete that because they don't want to be on camera and they're one of the executives. You definitely don't want to accidentally post them. Yeah, okay, they got through the live, so a couple thousand people saw it, but tens of thousands won't see it. It'll just be cut out, and I don't know.
Correct.
Maybe that looks weird, but to me, it's just in the corporate world, they call it CYA, just in case.
I really, like your outlook on that and your opinion on it and the way you look at it. And it's great to look at that. As a creator, you're also teaching others by doing this. Again, like, I wouldn't think if somebody said pros and cons to me. And dude, I had 2 strikes on my channel. Brian saved me, actually. Another great story. I had 2 strikes on my channel, and just like that, it could have been gone. And, I was talking to a creator that had that happen. Everything gone. Like, and I was like, I'm just started. What the hell is this? I'm just getting involved. I had no idea what was going on. That's a great point, and I'm really glad that you bring that up because you're also bringing education to the matter where we're not thinking about it outside of the box of how serious this could be. Just like that, you could really, really, really lose that. And if you do it the wrong way, if you end up posting, let's say you're busy, right, and you want to upload videos or whatever, they get those copyrights or whatever, they may get some strikes on it, and you didn't even get back to editing it yet, and you're like, oh my God, I'm in limbo here. And you don't get the support that you should. That you don't get the support that you should, and it makes it a little bit miserable as a creator. But
yes, it can be tough.
Having to build all this and then have it maybe disappear, and you don't even know that you're doing anything wrong. That's wild, man. Your whole entire thing could just that's nuts. I'm sure it's happened to bigger creators. It has happened to bigger creators, and that's a whole nother road to go down. I guess maybe we should have somebody on that actually had that happen too. And really talk to them and see what it's like to be in that.
That's a good one for whoever.
Be in that process, right? That would be really good for the interview process to hear somebody that's been through it because they know somebody, and it would be good to hear their side of it for us creators that are still live and alive and still going on. We can learn a lot from
right
them.
Because you can only do so much. Like I've got backups of all my videos and they're all on this
Same.
set of giant hard drives that continues to grow and grow.
Terabytes and terabytes
possibly...
and money spent. Yep.
Right. Yep. And every time I spend $200 on it, people are like, what are you spending all your money on? I'm like, every month it's like $200 for another, 4 terabytes.
Life.
Yeah,
my life, though.
Because if YouTube decides to stab me and says, oh, well, you got those 3 strikes, somebody, and in the meantime, I'm sitting there like, well, I've got all this content. Maybe I can use it on another platform. But YouTube tells you, like, if they cancel your channel and you retry to post that same video and stuff, they'll still strike you again.
Absolutely, because it's unoriginal content, right, or something?
Yeah. Now it's a different channel that's not proven to be the same one, and probably under a different name, maybe. I don't know how you would want to sneakily. I'd probably have to give up, honestly, or try a new channel with new content.
It seems like that's the road until somebody figures it. Like, you need like Mr. Beast. You need this to happen to Mr. Beast for it to really be figured out, right?
Right, because and that's when it does, he's got those people high up where I have
24 hours.
If you're making YouTube billions of dollars, you've got a special guy that nothing he does but sit there and wait for a call to fix some things.
One day, Dan, you're on your way there too.
I wouldn't mind have the YouTube partner program where they actually assign someone. I know there's a chat feature online that you can talk, but I've never tried it. I haven't needed to yet, but I'm hoping I don't. I try so hard to just avoid all of that. So like, people will pop in my videos and they'll start chatting with me. I have to edit it all out. Even just their voice, they could potentially hold that against you and have your video canceled. They may be nice people, but later they may change their mind on how they feel.
You're not a nice
person. And I haven't changed my mind. Yeah, right. So it's like it's scary. So I just don't take. I do a lot of risk taking in my life, especially in the casino. But when it comes to this type of stuff, I don't want to. I'm just going to play the safe bet.
I love it, Dan. There's nothing wrong with that, especially being a creator. And I know I keep giving you compliments, but you
keep going with those compliments.
You have this crap figured out, I think, in a big way as a creator. Like, you're not heard enough. I feel very lucky in the fact that you're a text message away, a phone call away, and only a select few of people have that. And I feel like you need to be heard more. I treat you like I treat Tim, like I treat Kelly. I feel like you guys are very well educated in what it takes to be a creator. And you were talking about your audience and how they respond and stuff like that. So speaking of, how does your audience feel about you? How is your audience? Talk to me about that. I want to hear more about that.
Well, they're a special breed. They seem to like watching me play Buffalo quite a bit. That's something I noticed probably last October of 2023. Is it
Buffalo or is it you?
It could be both. It could be me. Maybe
70-30 you. If I had to
I noticed when I leaned harder into Buffalo, I had like hundreds of Buffalo videos, but I wasn't posting them because I had all these other videos. I'm like, oh, I love Dragon Cash. I'll just post a bunch of those.
Right.
They would get like 500 views, something like that, and that's still pretty good. But
of course.
But obviously, every time I get more views, I want more views. So when I post another video and it gets 200, I go, let's rethink this. What did I do wrong? Thumbnail's good, title's good. Maybe they just don't care. And then my audience that I built, little did I know, I had built a Buffalo audience, but they only were saying it through the views. So I went back and looked at all my popular videos, minus the outliers, like I hit the grand on Locket Link. Of course, that's going to get views. But obviously, like most of them were, okay, hit the grand on Dragon Link. That one doesn't count. All of the other ones that were popular, Buffalo, whether it be Link, Ascension, Gold, Collection, Revolution, those Buffalo games are popular and people want to watch them. And I don't blame them. They're fun and they have all these different features. And I mean, for me, I've gotten very lucky on them. So it's even more reinforcement to play them even more because now I've seen the features. And then when you get like 4 or 5 coins, like, okay, it's either a curse or a huge blessing, but now I get to see it and it's so rare. There's potential here. So I get excited, even though I may have seen it already. I know my viewers want to see it again, and potentially that next time could be a huge win that they can live vicariously through me and enjoy the big win, and they didn't have to spend a penny.
And you just answered a question I have for you that I've had for every creator that I've interviewed so far, and it's like, and it's, what do people like about slots or love about slots? And you just nailed it. It can't be singular like that. Because now we live in a world where we're obviously overly saturated, and you have so many different aspects of how to. if you like a certain slot machine, you can find a creator that plays that certain slot machine. You know, so it's like, what do you love about slots? We're bringing a different kind of entertainment to it. And you may take a Buffalo fan and turn him into a fan of Dan, a Dan fan.
A Dan
like
fan.
A Dan fan. And now you took a Buffalo lover and you made them a fan of you. So as much as they do love that Buffalo stuff, they're going to watch you play Lock and Link because of you. And you're unlocking that as well as 1,000 other creators. And I think it's bringing a new, you know, appreciation. Now the plane must have crashed at this point, right? We can only assume that, Dan. We've went this far. Now we're going to assume that there's a horror story that I'm going to read in the morning because this isn't stuff that I deal with. I sit in my yard, you hear birds and crickets. You know what I mean?
We chose the wrong day.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I apologize.
This is your pilot speaking. We're going to have to make an emergency landing over on Aspen Drive. We're going to try to go ahead and hit Tony Soprano's house.
There you go. I was just going to say, so for the people watching that don't know, Dan just nailed the exact address of where the Sopranos house is, which I live right by. It's on Aspen Drive in North Caldwell. That is
and my favorite number, 14 Aspen Drive.
There you go. Give it to the people. It's all right. Why is 14 your favorite number? I'm gonna tell you why it's my favorite number, or one of my favorite numbers. It's not my favorite.
Yeah. I have a handful of favorites.
727 are my two big ones. 27.
Okay. Oh yeah. Geez, you went hard.
Red 27. I really went hard to play Red 27, which never comes out unless I'm not playing it. So
that
go ahead.
Sense.
Anyways.
6, 14, 21, and somehow 0 because of roulette.
I always play 0 and 00, 100%.
Yeah, I try to cover. I got to cover the greens and
00's right next to 27. That's why I play.
Sure. Oh, okay. Sure enough, when I don't cover those greens, guess what happens?
Boom! Green. Did you see they added the 000? They're adding a 000 to this mix because there's not enough zeros. You know?
So 000, I've seen, if anything, I'm worried about, and I'm seeing a lot of people talk about the quadruple 0. But instead of it won't be 4 zeros. They'll put, like they've been doing, like for the third 0, they'll have 0, 00, and then like a logo of the property as the extra, but it's the same pay as a 0.
I hear you.
And so they could do that with the fourth. So 2 logos. So there's a 0, 00, and then there's a logo, one maybe a silver and one a gold. I've actually got a more of a Twitter friend, but he's also on YouTube.
Okay.
He goes by That Casino Life. Gets a lot of views, a lot of interaction on Twitter. But he now is approved at Plaza to film his roulette stuff, and it's actually pretty exciting because he's kind of the beginning breaker of
already subscribed
for roulette. Yeah. So that's already Reggie. Subscribed. Great channel. If you haven't checked out Reggie.
Of course I know Reggie from Twitter.
Yes, he's on Twitter. He's like that boy Reggie or something, or that casino. Yeah. Anyway,
look at that.
Small
Dan.
world.
Just to go off on a little bit of a tangent to make sense of what I was saying before. When I was like, some people start on YouTube. You see, you're talking about
started on
YouTube
Twitter
platform. And how do I know, dude? I maybe have 600 followers on Twitter, but he has responded to like comments I've made on your stuff. You know, and that's how I was like, oh, this guy's a cool kid. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, I met up with him last October in Vegas for G2E. Yeah, definitely. If you're not checking out Reggie,
come on out to G2E, buddy.
No, he was there last year. That's where I met him up. So we met at Plaza.
Sad that I did not meet up with him. I was obviously
that's all right. He was busy
bad shape more than I.
We're very important.
So you are very. Don't say you're not important. You are very important because ready for this. I remember when we were at. See, we're going to doing the tangent thing. We were at Resorts World. I told you to meet me there, and there were 7,000 people, right? Or 7,000 creators there. And I remember a couple of people. Is that the Good Life 88? Come on, man. That means something, right? No matter who it's from. No matter who it's from. No matter in what space. That's the Good Life 88 right there. Damn right it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, like
I can't say it's not exciting. It is exciting. It's especially when it's a positive.
That's a pro.
Obviously. Yeah, it's a pro.
Back to the obviously pro. Mark it under.
It's something that keeps you the drive going, okay, somebody has seen this. And the number, you know, like say I get 10,000 views, 100,000 views, 1 million views on a video. Not yet, but soon.
Dude, what is it, a Buffalo video? It's very close.
Buffalo Gold Wheels of Reward.
That's right.
Oh, what a great day that was. So once getting all those views, yeah, it's good. You see the number and it goes up. But individual views a person, and that person just watched like an hour. It's a 50-60 minute long video, and they watch on average 30 minutes based on my analytics.
Awesome,
So that's like excessive. I have a 48th of their day was spent watching me gamble. 1 out of 48, and we're not even counting
see how
sleep.
you break that down as a creator? Like, that means a lot. The way that you break that down as a creator is a very respectful way to look at it. Like, we're talking about how we can't get into TV shows or new movies or whatever. I'm watching something for 11 minutes. Think about what I just said. I'm watching for 11 minutes. I'm going to sleep. There is a world out there, even if it's 1,000 people, 5,000, 10,000, and they're watching for 48 minutes. That's longer than a series of that's longer than an episode of Breaking Bad, Sopranos. Yes, man.
Crazy.
Like, you mean something to somebody, and you would have never thought of that about that if you didn't step into this space. And I don't care if you have 10 subscribers or 10 billion subscribers. To those 10 people, to those 10, you mean something that you didn't know you would across somewhere else. You have related to somebody, and I think that's when I love the word influencer. That's when I will use it and say, because I don't want to influence anybody to gamble, Dan, ever, especially
right. I think the word is a bit it's hard because
it is. It's very
in our realm. It's kind of like influencing is almost bad. It's almost like being an.
I don't want to influence you to gamble.
Drugs or even
influence,
alcohol, anything that's a little bit
I
an
agree.
adult choice that some people either have to make or don't make. I don't want to make them make that choice. What I do want is they've already made the decision and now they want more. And I had nothing to do with it, hopefully. That way my conscience is clean. But
you didn't push anybody to gamble. I do the same thing. I don't care if I'm in complete degeneration mode. I make sure, at least in most of them, I say at this point right now is when I would cash out if I was you people. But me, I'm a stupid degenerate, and I'm going to run this through the garden.
Run it through the garden.
Usually what you know what I mean? So I leave that tagline. I shouldn't have to say that, but I still do, just in case. You don't know who and what you're influencing. 8 billion people, 9 billion. What are we climbing to as far as the world population? You don't know. Everybody's different, man. Cut from a different cloth. You don't know how you can influence and how you cannot influence, because we're using that word again.
Mm-hmm.
Not a huge fan of it, but I am a huge fan of it when it's used the correct way.
Right.
You know, does that make sense? It sound weird.
I like it. I mean, I like content creator better, but it's not exactly.
I love content creator.
Right.
Ready? Content creators on my business card that I hand out, because I want to leave the world open. Not because, yes, it started as slot machines and all that stuff, and now I see that it's breaking out into entertainment. Look what we're doing right here. We're not playing slot machines, right? So it's breaking into a world of entertainment. So I want to bring you, I am a content creator, because I feel like, okay, we have a slot machine here. I feel like if you put something else in front of me here, I could also knock it out of the park if you give me the chance to. So I figured, let's put content creator on that. Great 2 words to use. That's what I think are the primary words to use when it comes to this: creator or content creator. I think that's the number one word that we should use moving forward. And that's what I want this to be like, right? Like, that's what's going to make this that much better. I can obviously, sit here in an interview like I've seen 100 times with 100 different creators and just, be I know nothing about you. So I'm literally learning about you while you talk. I know about you, man. We talk on a constant basis. What is that?
Look at my green screen is gone.
What happened?
So I have it taped up. Because
wait, did this fall off live? Is this live right now? Oh, this is fantastic. This is fantastic.
I love it.
We're keeping this in. SlotsFans is gonna love this. No, it's because
you got to have a green screen that sticks up.
That's what I'm talking about, man. It's gonna get cut out of something else, and somebody doing an interview for whoever they're doing it for. This is staying.
Failed me today.
This has got to stay. What is that? Promote that product. Well, don't demote.
No. Yeah, they screwed me here.
Can we send Dan something that works well? Can we send them? Can you
send me over
anything like from here? Like, is there anything like Jersey bound, like Gorilla Glue? Does that exist over there? Duct tape, like the gray duct tape. We have multicolored duct tape. Nothing. We can't get nothing for that.
I'm gonna even put more. So we're not.
Dan, you got to put more on this screen. I'm trying to help. I got my staff here. I don't have a look. You really want to laugh? There's nobody there. Tell me about your biggest win ever, creator, non-creator. Well,
it was before I thought I was a creator. It was up in Lake Tahoe at Harvey's, and that's a Caesars Entertainment property. I didn't have permission to film at the time, so I was just walking around, and I just had this epic session chasing $1,000 maxed out major on Dragon Link, which was fun. Oh, I finally hit it. Great. Spoiler alert, I did get it. That wasn't the biggest part, though. After that, I was like, oh, I'll wander around the casino just a little bit more.
Right.
And then I'll hit up this Locket Link. I've always wanted to play. Okay. So I have, $300-$400 I put in the machine doing $5 spins, 10 cents a nom. Tap, tap, tap. I'm doing fast taps here. And I fast tap into a grand. We've got 2 hearts plus the grand. And the grand, of course, is worth $13,000 plus. I don't remember the exact amount anymore. It's been quite a while. Maybe I should. I don't know if that reflects poorly on
I don't remember. Mine was 6 months ago. I don't remember. I just remember 52. And then
and 13,000. That's a good enough number. That's solid. So I was excited. I was looking forward to all of the degen gambling I was going to do. But in the moment, I pulled out my phone and I was like, okay. And then I caught right after it hit, and I was shaking. My hand was shaking. I've never won so much. And honestly, now that I look back at it, I wish.
Is it going? Is it going? It's going down?
I don't know. I think the cat kind of tailed it. I heard some
Charlie.
Sounds. Good luck editing this, everyone.
No, we're running this right through, pal. This is what they want. This is why we're doing this.
Get that green screen falling. So anyway, I was excited. Now I look back and I think, oh, geez, 13,000. It's still my biggest win. But boy, I've never crushed 15. I've never done 20 or 30 or like Tim, when you talked to Tim, what was that, $34,000
he had the
and a $45 bet?
Did you see? He knows the exact number to this date, exact spin,
right.
Everything. Me, it happened a couple months ago. I couldn't tell you a thing about it. So,
and it's I'm not saying I'm jealous, but I am looking forward to that point in both my gambling career and / YouTube career, whatever, gambling for personal, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I look forward to the moment where I actually hit something for 25,000, something sufficient where I can say that's 25% of 100,000. Let's not talk taxes. That's no fun. So let's just say gross, but still it's a quarter of 100,000. It's boring. It's real. And you have to do them, unfortunately, but it's boring. And so I'd rather just think of the gross. And I'm like, 25 grand. What can you do with that? That's like a new car, or nowadays, maybe half a Tesla. That's good though. Your payments will go from 300 to 150, or depends on what model you get. But hey, that's something. So I'm greedy. I'm a greedy gambler, and I'm very selfish. So I want more.
Get more. Go for the jugular.
Right, but I'm not going to pay $25,000 to get that $25,000.
Agreed.
I want to grind on Buffalo, and $18 bets once in a while. Okay, that's fine. But you only need one $18 bet to pay 1,000x, and you're at 18,000 right there. So that would be close enough for me. 1,000x on an $18 bet. I'm waiting, Buffalo.
1,000x. Oh my God, that's so far. 1,000x.
I've only had probably a dozen in 20 years.
Yeah, I can.
And then
1,200
above
videos,
1,000 is
try to find 10%. Good luck.
It's tough.
Try to
100x, you're getting excited. So
100x is exciting, man. And you know what I hate, Dan, to throw, some of these the cons of the world are, they're on there, and let's say you put up, I don't know, let's say I was doing $50 a bet on some $2,400 jackpot, and they're like, oh, but in dollars. So this is a great response. I figured it out. And they're like, yeah, but on dollars, that's this much. And I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't. It was at the $50 spin, and it was this much. I get it. I'm a big math guy. I break it down that way too. Don't get me wrong. If you don't think I do, you're out of your mind. However, the factualities of it are, my friend, I signed the paper for that hand pay, which was that much money because I was doing that much per spin. And let's just hope that it fell in between that threshold of I didn't have to spend that much to get it. Can we just focus on that?
Always the
cons. Yeah. That's where the con. Again, we go back.
Losing money.
We can touch on pros and cons every time it comes up. And I'll make sure I do. So that was your biggest win. I love that. That's a great story. So to roll off of that, what has been your best experience as a creator so far in this industry from the time you started until present? What has been your best experience as a creator? And I know we don't have
general gambling or doing stuff at the
resorts? like it doesn't have to be gambling. An experience.
We did SlotsFan in January. I think that was probably the
perfect.
Best.
That's a perfect one. It seems to be.
Yeah.
If you have been a creator in these interviews, it seems to be it seems to be the
where
experience
everybody wants to touch on. Yeah.
And now,
well, I mean, it was brought to us by you and Jason, Mr. Handpay, and what a great event! Like, people got all of their stuff taken care of. I was put in a suite, which I requested and demanded almost. I was like, look, I'll pay for a suite if you need me to, but just put me in the suite. Let's see what we can do. A limo from the airport. I got to share the limo with Randy and
Mid-South Slots.
Yeah, Mid-South Slots.
Kelly.
And,
I just
and
interviewed
Casino
her.
Keller. Yeah. So I got to and chat with them, and we're all sitting there scrolling on phones. I'm looking at analytics, and we're talking about things and eating some of the snacks. They had snacks in the limo.
Right.
We get there, we check in. Guess who's there to meet us at the front? It's, the head of the slots, Chris Bailey. He's out there waiting for us. He greets, first thing, handshake from him, the guy who's arranged it all, to bring us in, walk us to the front desk. The whole trip was positive for me. I got practice going to do a convention, meeting 3,000 or 4,000 people in a matter of 6 hours, meeting, 35 to 40 slot influencers, and having those connections who I still talk to. A lot of them, Flyby Slots is now Money Matt Slots, and Slot Crush, Midwest Slots. Geez, who else?
Tons
Emma.
of them.
Yeah,
awesome,
so like,
it's the same thing for me, Dan. Don't get me wrong. Like, as much as I did put this together, now remember, I put an open invite out on the community to the thousands of creators. At that point, if you didn't reach out to me, I don't know what to tell you. And I wish I took it more serious than I did. And I wish there were a lot more creators involved that maybe didn't take it serious either. And they missed out on a big thing, because I do have to admit, I'm with you on that. If ever I'm told to name one of the best experiences, in this industry as a creator, this is definitely, Sloticon is definitely one of them. And I wasn't treating it like it was. Talking to you and other creators, I realized how big of a thing it was for you individually as a creator, and that makes me appreciate it that much more. It makes me want to do better for you as a creator and put one together that blows that one away. So I want you to know that is my goal at some point.
Yeah. The future is there, and as time passes, those creators that were at Foxwoods are growing. Jackpot Joe's over there. 15,000 subscribers. I mean, there's all sorts of people who are getting bigger.
All great people too, by the way. As a whole, everybody.
Yeah. I mean, there were so many channels there, and even a channel that doesn't really need to get bigger because it's already so big. Mr. Handpay, 600,000 subscribers, and more importantly, 15, 20 million views per month. These are crazy numbers, people. These are outstanding.
Let's touch on Mr. Handpay, since he's flying in 6 times tonight and disturbing.
Right. He doesn't touch on me, but that's fine. I'll let you touch on him.
He messed with you a little bit. See, you got a little taste of Jason, where I get it, on the regular, and that's how our relationship is. It's just pranks on each other.
Boys will be boys. I get it.
Yeah. And you had a nice setup, a nice booth, and he did something. You had a wheel that was going on. Tell us about that.
Yeah, a wheel for every person who came by my booth to spin, and each wheel had something like, it was all free merch. So a wedge. Yeah. So one wedge had a free shirt, so you could have a pesky cougar shirt, and I would give it to you for free. Or if I didn't have the right size, I sent it to all the people afterwards.
Nice.
Who emailed me. Yeah, there was a lot of logistics after. But some people were spinning, and it was great. Okay, so I leave to go get some like bag or something. I'm missing like some extra merch. And I'm like, I'll go to my suite, grab it, and come right back. Well, in that small amount of time, I come back down, and Rhino Man, who he's sitting there, and I just walk in, and he's going like this. He goes, "Hey, Good Life," and I'm like, "What is this?"
Yeah. What's this?
Such a stalker. So and I love Rhino Man.
That's what Rhino does, right? So
he's in your business, and it's hilarious. So he's live, and you're just like, "What's going on?" And, okay, maybe I'm just on Rhino's live stream. Okay, so he's talking, and he goes, "Hope everything's all right with the convention today." I go, "What?" And he's like, "You should take a look at your booth." I go, "Uh-oh. Did they set it on fire? Did they shred everything that I had? What's good? Did they steal all my merch?" Which is, some would desire, some may not. And so I walk over to the booth, and I see the wheel has had a couple changes, and one of the wedges, instead of a t-shirt, which to me, giving away a $15-$25 t-shirt, that's expensive. I gave a lot of merch.
Absolutely,
Probably,
of course.
I think I gave away $500 worth of merch, maybe more, for that event, which is fine. That was what I expected.
Good
But
stuff.
instead of a nice cheap shirt, he puts Mr. Handpay has written in $1,000 cash in one of the wheels, and I go, oh, I can't afford that. And Chris Bailey comes up. He goes, I don't know if you're supposed to be doing cash giveaways here. And I'm like, Chris,
I didn't.
He's breaking my balls too, and he knows what's going on. I'm like,
Yeah,
I didn't want this. And so the next thing he points to, he goes, you going to be doing that too? And I look at the wheel, and it goes, kiss me.
Yeah, there it is. So hold on. So no patrons got this. So you were on top of it prior to anybody spinning it.
This is before, but I decided, you know what? F it. I'm keeping the kiss me. If somebody wants a kiss from Good Life, it's fine.
Give it to him, Dan.
I'm going to give it to him.
Why would you withhold that from your audience if they want it? Damn it.
Well, here's the good news is I found out, I did a study based on 4,000 people that came through. Do you know how many people asked for a kiss after they spun for the kiss?
Let's see it. Let's see the percentage.
0%.
Hey,
0%.
Hey, I didn't get to spin that wheel. That's why. You understand?
You were busy schmoozing and having a good old time.
I
too.
was
Meeting
not.
people.
There's a totally different realm that I was in that I still haven't talked about yet. That was wild. I was not. You have to now, Mr. Do you remember Mr. Handpay's booth? Remember that whole?
Yes, I do.
I was right behind it.
I know.
So everything that mimicked that was pouring into me, and then they're like, oh my God, you're NJ Slot Guy. And I'm like, yeah, because dude, I didn't have the whole, I really
setup. Yeah, I had the backdrop
really
wasn't there. It was like shirts and some signage. Really.
So they were finding out after the fact. Meanwhile, I'm like trying to control the line for like Handpay and stuff like that. I'm trying to help out, and like people are like, I got Jared and Mark texting me, going, "Where are you, man?" And I'm like, "I'm right here." Like I would lift up the with your green screen, like the cat's doing. I would go, yeah. I'm right here. You momos, I'm right here.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side,
literally standing a foot away.
But not realizing, Dan, that like people were there to see me. Well, I remember telling Chris at one time, I go, Chris, can I have the microphone? Obviously, Chris makes the right decision and says no, and that was a great call. Imagine me, because I'm going to walk around and we're going to start trouble, right?
Right.
Going from booth to booth, I'm going to have the microphone, probably going to be Trevor with me, and we're going to go around asking stupid questions. The kiss a wheel, if the thing was there, we would have spun it. Things would have got crazy.
Would have got a little weird. It's all right.
We had that.
I went up to your suite at one point, and things got a little weird up there, so it was fine.
Listen. Do you know who Johnny Carson is? By any chance, like Johnny Carson show, anything like that?
The classic interview host that was
I'm
like
not sure if
world
anybody
famous.
knows.
Okay, yeah.
Now, do you know what it took for a comedian to sit in one of the seats? Like there's a backstory to that.
He had to give you the thumbs up, right?
Yes. So
yeah.
Let's figure this. Let's treat my suite or whatever, wherever I am, as that, right? If you get that invite up there, you're in good. I don't want to say you're in good hands, actually, because once things get up to the suite, things were getting crazy. You had Eddie, from FNS. Eddie from FNS. Does anybody know who Eddie from FNS is? Bringing a bottle of tequila. Do you remember that? And leaving it. It's just what happened. I mean, it's anything. It's not really a selective thing. But Eddie's going to bring up a bottle of tequila. We're a tequila fan that night. You know what I mean?
Right.
Amongst other things that were going on. Because if you remember, we had the balcony. So that's where a different group of people went. And I'm usually out with that group. And we're poking.
I went out to the balcony. Great view.
Yeah.
Fresh air.
Remember the whole thing with remember those balls that were on the line and like
the zip line area.
What is that? They're
freaking out, man.
Us. Remember that?
Freaking out, man.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what happens. That's usually what happens at the end of the night when you're with myself, Dan, and the rest of the circle, because all we do is have fun, Dan. And that's really the major, part of this is, we're doing things for our audience. We're getting that content creation. You know what, man? We got to have some fun too. And of course, better have some fun with than other creators that we can learn from, that we can relate to,
at a slot event.
At a slot event too, which, you're just adding on to it, of course, which wasn't easy. There was a snowstorm coming in. The communication was a little weird with Foxwoods about 30 days out. So a lot of different variables that happened there to make this happen. So when it did happen, that embrace was that much more important, at least to me, having all you guys in my room as creators. I'm sitting around and I'm looking, man, and I'm like, like, holy shit. Like, there's Tim, there's you, there's Eddie, there's Reiko, there's, Jackpot Beauties, there's Kelly, and
You have Jackpot Beauties in your room?
There's Old School. Absolutely. They were all.
I must have missed that meetup. Yeah. I think you invited me up and I missed that one.
But before or after.
I think I was doing a live stream or something when you asked.
Shout out to Ariana and Ron. I consider them friends. Absolutely. I talked to Ron.
Yeah, she's very nice.
Great. When I tell you, fantastic people. And Ron, another good one, another good mind in the industry. And I have fun with Ron. He busts chops and, he goes at me. And it's great. It's like an Abbott and Costello sort of thing when I'm with Ron. We have a great time. It really does make me laugh. And you know what I love the most about Ron, man, is he checks up on me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that when it comes to friends. I don't have friends that I grew up with for 30 years that check up on me. So that does speak volumes. They hold a special place with me.
That's nice.
And a big shout out to the both of them. But, we can keep going with the names of creators. Think about that, what I just said. You're talking 500,000 subscribers in one room, and we're all just sitting there, and we're soaking up this experience, right? And it's like, who would have known? Imagine if we all put up a picture, like from the room in something and say, hey, we're all together here at Fox. The people go ballistic. That's what you don't realize, but that's our downtime, right? You're not checking in from my suite. That's our downtime, man, for an hour that we have, 30 minutes, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I did very little posting of that. I mean, for my other channel, Lux Life, I did a post of the suite tour and a couple of I was doing giveaways for the tickets so people could come to the dinner or come to the convention for free. So I did a couple of those up in the suite, which is great because the background is a suite and I'm at Foxwoods, and it was like perfect convenience. But yeah, it's definitely a memory I have, and I'll probably have for a long time. That's a fond memory, and I hope that sometime that happens again, maybe not necessarily 2025, but sometime in the next couple of years, some of these channels get bigger, you can go back and maybe present different numbers that will be like, hey, instead of, some of these smaller channels, well, it's been 3 years, these channels have now grown, and now, they're all bringing in heavy views. That's going to be better for Foxwoods. So maybe, time will tell.
Dan, for any of those small, and I'm using quotations because I don't like that word either, for any of those small channels that are watching or happen to be, watching our interview together, I want to let you know that, those small channels made me feel more loved than some of the biggest channels ever have. And I want you guys to know that. And I said that in the interview with Kelly too. You made me really feel like touch. Again, I didn't realize what I was doing as a whole for the creators. Like I
no, you were doing a lot.
Did it. I really did it. Like, we were doing so many other things. I didn't realize how much. A great crew we had, a bunch of people that appreciated it and made me feel loved, and almost got me to an emotional state to make me feel in that sense. It wasn't, obviously I'm always community. I want everybody to do great at, but I wasn't thinking of all the other variables that came with it. Like, somebody doubling up on their subscribe. Even it was more than that. I forgot who it was, but 400 or 500 times what they usually would get in one night. They refreshed the next morning, and they were like, oh my God, and almost in tears, seeing how much subscribers they have.
Big jump.
I didn't compute that. Like, when we were doing all this, I was just trying to put an event together where we all could be for a weekend, where we could all walk around and record whenever we wanted to, and nobody had to look over their shoulder. That's all I wanted to provide.
Right. And the media passes were gold.
And maybe this meet and greet will, but I was expecting 300, 400 people. It went over 3, 4, 5x that. And it was absolute bananas.
Yeah, I think it was like 2,000 people. Something.
It was wild.
A number that is very brag-worthy.
That Foxwoods wasn't prepared for because of the way the line wrapped from a conference room that's offset, like off miles away from the casino. It wrapped around into the playing area of where people were. It is absolutely beautiful. That's a great way to put it. That was one of the best experiences ever. And I do have to admit, it's definitely up there for my top 5, and I will always mention that as one. And you know what? A lot of that has to do with the creators I was with, and a lot of the things we shared, and a lot of the, the personal get-togethers and stuff, and that camaraderie.
Yeah, the cocktail hour and that first night with the appetizers. Oh, I was so hungry. I was so hungry because I just gotten off a flight, and I'm just like, and there's shrimp. There's like, it was everything I wanted, and I could eat. And it, that was.
You traveled further than most.
From
I
all
mean, if we're being honest,
the westiest west to the
the West
eastiest
West, man.
east.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you came to that, and that means a lot to me too, because I definitely know, and you could admit it or not, that you took it a little bit more serious because my name was on it, and I was like, Dan, having
You're half the
this
reason I
event.
came.
See what I mean, man? That means a lot.
Yeah. You had asked me,
Thank you.
we'd work together. It was a no-brainer for me. And you booked me. You told me the dates ahead of time so I could clear my schedule and have them open. And that's what ended up happening. So it worked out.
Was it a success for you afterwards, like numbers wise, or was it just like something that existed in the community?
Well, coincidentally, I happened to have a video I released that same night that got 250,000 views in the past like couple of months. Some buffalo video with a bunch of sunsets on it. So it was hard to base it because I was already getting a bunch of views from that, even prior to going live. So I went live, got my usual, 500 to 1,000 views, not very much at that time, but still exciting to have all those people involved. And then I'd say it definitely got a lot more views, and I got more East Coast people who never heard of me after the convention. Now all of a sudden I've got them in the comments. Hey, I'm over here in Jersey. I'm over here on the East Coast, wherever I am, Boston.
Careful with those ones. They're a little rough around the edges.
Right. But you know what? If they're anything like you, I think I'm going to like them just fine. And I've got plenty of East Coast relatives.
See,
they deliver right. They, no filter. I kind of like that. Not always, but most of the time.
Yeah.
And, it's enjoyable. So it's kind of like, I think it was successful long-term for me to just have increased awareness of who the hell I am and what I'm doing, which right now is heavily on Buffalo and happens to be very popular. And, one of these days I'll get Aristocrat to send me like a Buffalo machine to put in my house, and then I won't have to go to the casino anymore. Save me millions.
Yeah, I would be a lot easier as a creator if they would do something like that. All right. I mean, dude, again, I would talk SlotsCon with you for an hour and a half. We'll do that next time we're together, of course. Give me before we sign off, give me your 3 favorite casinos, land-based casinos across the U.S.
Okay. And is this off proximity or favorite, just resort?
Nah, just favorite because you love it as a whole, whether it's the machines they have, the resort itself, both of that. Like, what are your top? If you were going to recommend, I'd never been to a casino before, and I said to you, give me your 3 favorite casinos. I have $1 billion in cash. I want to travel all over this country. What are the 3 casinos that I should go to? Boom, there you go.
I mean, first, probably have to start with Vegas, even though I have a bunch of locals near me that I love. Probably Wynn, if you're looking for the best of the best, Wynn Encore. I've only had a few experiences there. Right. Yeah. But if you're looking for high quality luxury, high quality customer service, high quality comps, sure, you're going to have to spend a lot of money, but you spend money to save money. You see?
I see what you're saying. I respect this. This is a good breakdown of this. Nobody has done this yet, so please keep going.
And so I would say Wynn Encore. Now, that being said, it's tough because there's only 2 more spots, and I have quite a love for my locals. Grayton Resort and Casino is going to make the list, but also on top of not just now, but in a year from now, they're putting $1 billion into the casino, some of which is my money, but they're reinvesting and expanding the resort. They're going to have like 2-story restaurant with a nice view of the Napa Valley. Yes. By the end of 2025, they've already built the giant parking lot that's going to have another wing of the hotel, another additional 400 rooms, more suites, a second pool, a giant stadium so they could have bigger, concert series. Then they're going to be the second biggest casino in California, second to Yamava by about 1,000 slot machines. They're going to have 6,000 slot machines. They have 3,200 right now or so. So it's my favorite now because they've got spa, resort amenities, gambling. They comp me well, and they let me film. And
that's where we first met each other.
And it's all of these things combined. And that's where MaxBet TV had their thing.
Oh, man, another great experience.
The memories. So Grayton's, okay, that's second on the list. Now, third on the list, you have to go, okay, there's been a lot of properties. I recently went, and it's hard. So it's either Foxwoods as the third choice because, obviously we just had a great time there and I've got great memories, or Hard Rock Hollywood in Fort Lauderdale. that one
Ooh,
for
good
me.
spot.
I
Just
got to
went there,
stay
right?
comped in the Guitar Hotel. Yeah, in March I was up there, and it was right before a cruise, so we stayed there for 2 days. I got permission. I hung out with
Shout
Chris
out to
and Lou
Keith.
for a couple of hours.
Love Chris and Lou. Shout out to both of them
We
as well. Great people.
do it. They are fun, and so
Very
that I love the property. It's huge, the Guitar Hotel, and then the amenities, and then the pool, and then the blue water. I
Beautiful
mean, they've got
place,
so
man.
much to do, and their
Beautiful.
social media reminds me of Yamava. They're very active, they're very involved,
Agreed.
and which I like a bit. Now, I would actually, even though it's been 3, I would add Yamava, but I've actually never been. I've just heard such great things from so many creators, be it Jason, Mr. Hampe, Brian Christopher, or Crow Slots likes to go down there. They go down a couple times a year, and they get treated nice, and they show me pictures and share with me, on DMs. They're like, look at this. Like, you can't find this at most resorts. You want in-room dining on a cart? You don't have to pay the extra $200 charge you do in Vegas now to get it on a cart instead of delivered in a bag, stapled. That's not so classy if you're in a suite. You want the cart, you want the amenities, you want a glass, and you want forks and utensils. So they do that. It's like the same expensive price of most room service, but they do it without an extra surcharge. And it comes with like custom Yamava stamps and things like in the bread and fancy little extra things. It's very Win-esque where it's
that like, little extra, man.
It's a little extra. And you know what? We're spending a lot of darn money here. A little extra goes a long way, especially if you're only going to be in the room for a couple hours. Might as well have time.
I will tell you what makes me appreciate Yamava. I have not been there since the name change. That's a long. I have been thinking that I appreciate most is any creator that I'm watching that's live from there. Yamava's in the chat. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're very involved.
That sets them milestones away from these other casinos, and another discussion for another time. It's more of a. I don't want to use the word ignorance, but I guess I kind of do. Like, maybe we're not taking that much
inexperience of other casinos. I think is a better, kinder word. Inexperience.
Well said. See, you say it better than I mean. I mean, you're nice.
Yeah. Well, your word was just different than mine, but has a different meaning. I think the inexperience because they're hesitant to try that first trial, and Yamava's already done it. So they've done it, and now they know.
Is knocking it out of the absolute park. I appreciate that as a creator. When I go into somebody that's live and I see Yamava on there, I start tagging. I go, Yamava, it's amazing that you're in here. That's awesome. Yep. Like, that makes me feel good if I ever go out there, because it's a hike, to get out there. I absolutely would consider going, to Yamava on a next trip if I can get together with them and make something work. 100%, I would love to go out there. Yeah.
Well, because you guys do that, let me know, because I'll make.
You think I'm entering the state of California without letting you know?
I mean, if you go to Yamava, the other property that I've been to, just as a side note, is Harrah's SoCal, which is good marketing. They're not as involved as Yamava, but the amount of suite selections they've got is great. And they've had all these celebrity celebrity endorsements. So like they had David Hasselhoff.
Of course. Yeah.
Let's see. I think I can look up the mayors. Right now, Martin Short is the mayor of California.
I'm sorry. Say it again. Martin Short is the mayor.
Martin Short.
Where?
Funner, California. They've renamed the town where Harrah's SoCal is in to Funner. So it's actually the name of the city is Funner, California. I mean, Funner. I don't know if it's officially, like as in it's fun, but Funner.
Which isn't a word. Which like you were destroyed.
Which is the best part about it.
Yeah, that's why I like
it's tongue in cheek. Like
I love Martin Short.
Funner.
Do you understand?
Beeping.
What is that, Mr. Hampe? Answer it.
Oh wait, no. Here's Mr. Hampe. There we go. Yeah, Jason, what's going on?
Yeah, look at this.
No, just doing an interview with NJ. What are you up to?
Tell him to Venmo me.
He's at
$5,000.
Disneyland.
Yeah, he is.
All right. Yeah. No. Okay. I guess he blocked me on Venmo. Yeah. I know. I send enough requests. I get it.
I'll send a request tonight.
All right. I love you, buddy. All right. Too many people calling me.
Dan. See what I like? It's just all right. Listen, I know I had you. I see, man. You make me laugh, and that's why I like being around you too. Are the people that can break me? It's very hard to break me. I'm a miserable. So I do appreciate when it comes to comedy. However, laughing and moving as much as I am is also causing severe sweating because the heat index that's going on here. And I know I don't have you for that much longer. So
we're already over 12 minutes.
on a send off. Can you give us any tips, tricks, anything that you use when you go to the casino, or maybe as a creator to share with other creators? Doesn't need to be because we know there's no slot machine tips and tricks, but maybe something you do. Share with us something you haven't shared before, please.
Tips and tricks. Well, I mean, something that it is actually a money management trick, so to speak. A lot of people say, and I watch some of the different casino channels out there. So I think it's Gamble Smart. So I've watched
Gamble
them,
Smart.
and
Shout out Dave and Mark.
Right, and I like them. I like what they're doing there, and it's good educational stuff. And then they were at Sloticon as well. So I watched them, and some of their suggestions. I've never heard this one, so I'll say it. They suggest that you should leave your cards at home, and in a digital reality, it's not really possible, especially if you're going to the casino and you're staying the night. If you're just going there for a few hours, you live locally, okay, bring your license, bring some cash, and then just go pop in, pop out. But if you're like me, I'm usually staying for the night. What if something happens and I
go somewhere?
I need to get some more content. So instead of being crazy and just, I'll bring all the cards, F it. Okay, I have a separate account that's just for gambling, and it's not linked to the other accounts. And I have one card, and it has a limit per day. So I will be one of those people where it gets close to midnight. I'm like, I can go get my last of the allotted budget that I have, because it makes me space it out. I can only say like at $1,000 in one day. So depending on, maybe I'll bring a little cash, but then I'll have that as a backup plan. And if you go too crazy, there's no other option. You can't go to the bank. It's usually when I'm gambling, it's 2 a.m. No banks are open. You can't transfer from another account. You can't Venmo yourself. I guess you could really, but it's enough for me to be like, okay, that's all. And it's easy because then I can have a credit card receipt of what I did the night before. So later when I think, what did I do? I can actually go back and look at those receipts. And for me, that's best money management to know, okay, say I have $500 in cash left, but I withdrew $2,000 over a 2-day period. Well, I'm down $1,500. Money management. That's all you need to know. It doesn't mean you're going to make money. It means you're going to be conscious of it and make hopefully the right decisions of, if I've got $500 left, do I leave up? Do I get more content? So I would recommend, if people have the ability, opening an account's usually free. Just go on there, open a separate account. Don't link it to anything. Get a card sent to you, so it's a debit card. And then obviously you're going to have to take the loss on the ATM fees, but do it that way. And then you want, and do it that way, or you find a card like Amex. Sometimes they'll reimburse you for fees, things like that. Find a card that's good, maybe not a credit card, maybe a debit card. I don't know if they do that. That'll reimburse you, and then you can control your money. And then if you're stuck, you're stuck. And you've already got your hotel, and they've taken the deposit, and you have less choice to go ballistic. But that just depends on your financial circumstances. And that's a recommendation for people who are worried about losing more money. If you were on a hot streak, it doesn't matter. You're not withdrawing any money anyway. It's coming from the ATM Tito. So you don't need. Yeah. So I guess that would be a recommendation, or find a host. If you gamble enough, get a host, because a lot of people are missing out on available comps. The casino, sure, they'll give you some free play and some mailers, but the customization of comps from my hosts over the years has been remarkable, and having a relationship with them is actually pretty important. I've had them initially tell me, let's just say I go and I lose $3,000. Okay, well, what do you expect from that? I'd say 10%. I mean, obviously, if you're a table game player, the max you would get playing fancy blackjack, maybe 22.5%. Some other people say that. I never get that. But you can get 10% easy. 10% should be easy, in reimbursements, whether it be, let's say you lose $3,000, but you have a $300 bill. Yeah. That should be wiped clean. Easy, barely even need to.
And we've done that before as creators, like when we're together and like maybe we didn't get set up correctly, and we're kind of like, all right, we're not really known here, but you know what? After the fact, we could just have a conversation.
Take a look at the play, see how much I lost or won.
Cards. Right. Leave it up to that. Listen, I'm just saying, can the $213 dinner, because we both just spent $5,000 each? Can we?
Right. Couldn't that be free? That $5,000 each should be easy.
But you wouldn't know that, Dan. The squeaky wheel gets the grease in that sense. And And I don't like to bother anybody, never like to ask for anything extra. Brian could be my witness because he was my connect over there. How many times his phone went off for any request from me? 0. I try not to do that. You're having me here. You're doing a little bit more. However, other creators have also let me know, like, hey, man, you're not you're just not just a normal gambler that's come in here. You're providing something here for this place. Right. Not only can you do this as a normal gambler, but you need to do this as a creator because you have a budget. This is a business. You have, get yourself the free $225.
Right. It's just a couple hundred. The casino doesn't care.
Yes.
Win is giving away in comps like $1.2 million in comps every day. Right. Obviously, they're netting like $3 million a day, and their average slot machine makes about $800 per day. But hey,
I think they're smart. I think they're smart. Take care
Win
of
is killing it. Win is killing it.
Absolutely.
I mean, from a financial perspective to anything else, not that makes me dislike any other company more. Like I still love Caesars, even though they have what seems to be debt. It doesn't make me dislike the property anymore. I go there. I stay in comp suites, and they're clean. And they let me film.
Hopefully,
I love them.
Hopefully, Win won't 86 me next time at G2E like the last year.
Oh boy, what did you do?
I didn't do anything. Randy was with me, and I mean, again,
that's the problem.
We're not too we walk in. We're not in good shape here, right? Like it's the morning after whatever is going on. It's 7:30, whatever, and like we just stumble in. However, I do got to admit, man, there's nobody in that high limit room the day we went, and like. We sat down, we put money into that machine, and before we could even hit spin, both of us, 86. You can't do this here. And I'm like, yes, we can. Yeah, and I'm like, yes, we can. Whole other story. Let's not get into it. I don't want to bash any properties. We'll talk about that in person. We'll talk about that through text.
You cut that in post. Cut that in post.
Dan, I had, and I knew I would have an absolute blast with you, man. I really thank you for your time. I appreciate you. You're 3 hours behind me too. So the scheduling stuff doesn't, work out as easily as people think. So thank you, man. Thank you always for your time.
Of course.
Always. You always take everything I say seriously, my events, my whatever. I'm coming out to G2E. You're gonna, put it in your schedule to make sure
meet up.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I appreciate that. I appreciate the cats getting involved tonight. That was a big thing. We're keeping at it. At least I am. So if it gets cut, it's not me. I let it go through.
They don't like the cats. They don't like the cats, but it's fine.
It didn't get through the final cut. That's the one that I have no say on. So, Dan, again, as a creator too, man, thank you for all your insight and everything that you provide to me, which you don't have to. We'll have more for you soon. Thank you very much from NJ Slot Guy, from SlotsFan.com, from SlotsFan, the YouTube channel. Please check everybody out. Please, of course, check out the main star of the show here, The Good Life 88. If you don't know who he is, check him out. One of the best creators in the business, in my opinion, and I will stand firm on that. Dan, thank you again. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care, buddy.
Bye, John.